Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to Every Day with Jesus. I'd like to talk to you today about something that plagued me for many years, really since the time when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I remember this being an issue that I would have pretty regularly some heartburn that would cause me some pain. And I didn't really know much about it at the time. I thought it was kind of normal. I figured everybody had that. And then one day I was talking to someone and I said, yeah, you know that pain you get after you eat ice cream and maybe you have something to drink afterwards and how you feel that little burning in your chest? And they said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I said, really, you don't get that? And then I learned what GERD is, gastroesophageal reflux disease. It's something I had regularly for the better part of my life from the time I was 8 onward. And one of the things I would regularly do once I learned about this and things that could help it was to use these things. You know them maybe best as Tums. I always buy the generic brand. They're kind of tablets that you take. They're chalky. And when I would take one of these, it would give me almost instant relief, but very temporary. It would help for a while, but it never took care of the problem. So if I ate something very acidic, or if I ate something that irritated my stomach, it would just keep sort of coming back up and causing this chest pain. And I really longed for something that would take care of it for a long time. When I was about age 40, after having been to doctors many years for this, one doctor suggested that there was a surgery that could be done that would be very effective, that maybe would take care of this problem for the better part of my life. Well, I was eager to try it. It was something called a fundoplication. They take a piece of the stomach and they wrap it around the esophagus and they create another sphincter valve so there isn't this weakness between the stomach and the esophagus. Well, I thought, wow, wouldn't that be great to take care of this problem forever? The doctors thought my problem was pretty severe and it would help me a lot. So I said, okay, let's do it. So I did. And about 20 plus years ago, I decided to have it done. Well, guess what? It was a huge success. So much so that different foods that I was avoiding because of the GERD, I no longer had to avoid them anymore. I could eat spaghetti, I could eat tomatoes, I could eat chocolate, I could drink alcohol. All those things that used to bother me, no longer a problem. I got to tell you, now today, the fundoplication has loosened up a little bit. Occasionally something gets through and does bother me, but for the most part, for 20 plus years, I have been completely satisfied, and I haven't had to take a single pill to keep up with that. I don't take Tums anymore. I just am so happy to have had that resolved. The book of Hebrews talks about that in relationship to faith and the need for atonement. In the Old Testament, as you know well, the Israelites offered sacrifices. These sacrifices were a temporary measure to afford them forgiveness for their sins. So their sins would be laid upon an animal. The animal would be placed upon the altar, burned up. The smoke would go up toward God, and God would be pleased with the scent of obedience. As these Israelites would come forward and offer these sacrifices, God would be pleased that they were trusting in Him for forgiveness, and by offering a sacrifice, we're pointing forward to the great and final sacrifice of God's own beloved Son. Well, the book of Hebrews talks about this, talks about Jesus as the once and for all sacrifice. It says, such a high priest meets our need, one who is holy, blameless, pure, and set apart from sinners, exalted above the heavens. Unlike the other high priests, he does not need to offer sacrifices day after day, first for his own sin and then for the sins of the people. He sacrificed for their sins once and for all when he offered himself. For the law appoints as high priests men who are weak, but the oath, which came after the law, appointed the Son, who has been made perfect forever. we no longer need to be offering sacrifices because Jesus, the Son of God, was the perfect and final sacrifice for us. So just like I don't need to take Tums anymore, in our churches we don't need to be offering any more sacrifices. We can be so thankful that Jesus came and accomplished that task once and for all. And as we trust and believe in Him, our sins are washed away even immediately after we commit them. As we live in a faith relationship to God, the umbrella of His grace washes away our sins. Day after day, moment after moment, we trust in Him and we are washed clean and made new in the blood of the Lamb. Jesus was that perfect Lamb of price, and we can be rejoicing that our inheritance is in heaven because Jesus opened the door by paying the price for every one of our sins once and for all. Hey, thanks for being here again on Every Day with Jesus. We will see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.